Hey y'all, my name is Sarah, and this is my Flosstube, Sarah Stitches. I just want to welcome everybody, and thank you so much for, continuing to watch my video, especially to my subscribers, because I know I have been hit and miss lately with videos. It's just, like everybody, life just gets busy. And so, but I do appreciate all my subscribers, especially, for continuing to watch my videos, no matter how irregular I post them. And I just want to welcome any new subscribers, anybody that just, stumbles across my channel. And please, if you like my content, please hit subscribe. But yeah, I know it's been a while. I don't even know how long. I didn't even look. I'm just gonna be honest. I have no notes, nothing. I honestly thought I was gonna have a grandson this weekend, one of them, because his younger brother was born Tuesday. Austin made it into the world Tuesday, and so we've all been so excited about that. And so I really thought I would have Joseph with me for the weekend. But it ended up, I just kept him for a few days, and he went home last night. And so this morning, I thought, well, it's nice and quiet. I finally got the house to myself for a little while. My husband's in a fishing tournament, because we've been busy this week. Grandbabies, and just busy. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to just get everything together real fast and film a Flosstube and get it edited and get it up hopefully sometime today, because for once, I have nothing on my schedule today. Me and my husband, he helped me yesterday, and we cleaned the house. So the only thing I really got to do today is laundry and just things that I want to do. So I'm really looking forward to today. I have not had that in a while. I work for a school district, and if you're new here, I'm from Arkansas, and just like everybody else around, it seems like the country, we're battling the heat also. We're having heat index temperatures and well above 100. It's humidity, and it just in the afternoons you don't want to be out in it, because it's just been horrible. And and I feel for these people that's their job, they have to work in it, and I hope that they're staying hydrated. But yeah, so we have definitely, and matter of fact, my husband was saying last night, because we haven't had any rain for a while, and we will not be surprised if there is not a burn ban issued for too much longer. It's just been so hot and dry. So, but anyway, so we, you get everything done in the mornings. And so but I'm also working. I work for a school district, and I am a full-time employee. I work year-round. But we are on summer hours, which means I have to go in an hour earlier than normal. And then I worked in my lunch, but we have Fridays off. So that's been nice, but it seems like every Friday has been busy. So, but I do have quite a bit to show. I've got several FFOs. I'm just going to because it's been so long since I filmed, I'm just going to show what I've recently done. And so I'm just going to do it that way. But just real quick, I briefly mentioned it, but yes, Austin was born Tuesday afternoon. And so mom and baby are doing really good. They're home. And like I said, Joseph spent like a week with her parents, and then her mom brought him down after Austin was born. And then I kept him for a few days after that to let mom and dad get a new baby, get settled home, and get things settled. And then I took Joseph back yesterday, and of course we got to see the new baby. We got to see Austin, and y'all, he looks exactly like his older brother. They could be twins. It is crazy. That is the first thing everybody says was, you've made another Joseph. Because now my kids, mine are close in age. My children aren't even 2 years apart. And they look a lot alike. but that was gradual. When they were first born, they did not. My daughter did not look anything like my son, but the older she got, by the time she was 1 or 2, they very much favored. And I have gotten it, and they still get it to this day. People ask if they're twins. We got that all their lives growing up. And so I was laughing. I said, yeah, you're definitely going to get this with these two. Are they twins? Because you could take Joseph's newborn pictures, and put them next to Austin, and you will struggle to see the difference. Just their outfits really is the only difference. But we are loving him. He's so sweet, and just Big Brother loves him, and they're gonna have to watch him because he's very curious about him. Wants to get his pacifier. You know, just typical things that go on, especially having a young one and then having a newborn. So, but yeah, they got their hands full, and so I've kind of laughed at it because I know what it's like to have a 2-year-old and a newborn. Well, Jonathan wasn't even 2 when Morgan was born. So, but yes, but I definitely know what it's like. But yeah, and then we've had both of them. For the last 2 Fridays, I had both of them here because in the mornings we have a little pool, little blow up pool we bought, and a water table, and they've been coming over here in the mornings and playing with one another. And that's been a lot of fun. They get, for the most part, they get along really good and they play together. But, they're 2. So, of course, you're going to have a few moments of, no, that's mine. I want that. I'm not going to share it, that type thing. And so, but yeah, they've really, I think they've enjoyed that. But yeah, just that, and work's just been really busy. You think with summer, things would slow down, but it really doesn't, and then now teachers are fixing to come back in 2 more weeks. And so I will go back to my normal Monday through Friday schedule. But with everything going on, I really have, for the last week and a half, there has not been very little stitching. Matter of fact, this morning was the first time I really have sat down and got any noticeable amount done. And so, but I think things are starting to settle down, and like I said, I'm not going to have Joseph as much because my son was able to take off several weeks with my daughter-in-law, so they're both home, and so Joseph will be staying with them. And so I'm sure I will have him off and on during that time, but for the most part, he'll be with them, and I can get kind of some things done. So, but I do have, like I said, I've got a little bit of a haul. I'm just going to, I really have a big haul, but I've bought a lot, but some of it I've put away. So I just kind of grabbed the most recent things that I've worked on. I've got some new starts, and I've just got some things to show. And yeah, I will show this later in my haul. But if you have never heard of Whatnot, I have fallen down the Whatnot rabbit hole. I'm like addicted to it. It is like an online auction place. And they're not like eBay auctions. They're like real fast, like 10, 15 seconds is all this lasts. But they have tons of things on it. Mostly I do the fabric and the thrifting. They have a lot of people that do this for a living. They do this thrifting. They have booths, but they come on and they sell their stuff, and then they ship it to you. And so far, it's been, I'm not bidding on real expensive things. But it is very hard. I'm going to tell you what. When I first started watching, I was bidding and clicking. Now I have kind of laid off of it some. But I will watch them in the evenings, and lots of people sell vintage thrift items. I've gotten a couple things from them. Lots of fabric. And I will say this. I don't know about people that want to buy yards. There's both. Let me take that back. They sell a lot of yardage, which I don't need yards, like 2-3 yards of fabric. Now, for people that do quilting and sewing and things, that might be what would be more for you. But I have been able to catch several that are just selling scraps and they're perfect for what I do. I do a lot of like my pillows, things like that, make project bags, just little small things. But I do have a delivery that's coming today, and I wanted to kind of hold off, but I'll just show that in my next video because I really want to get this video done and edited. But it's just an app, and it's got a yellow W in it, but they sell, I've seen Pokemon cards, and I remember that because my son and my actually daughter's boyfriend, they like to collect Pokemon cards. But they have people sell makeup, the bamboo pajama sets for children, adults, all those. Now I have looked at some of those, but they were mostly girls that day. But all kind of clothing, shoes, purse, anything you probably are interested in, makeup, they sell it. And so but I will show my little whatnot haul in a little while, but it's a lot of fun. I think it's just so much fun. And there was a few things that somebody came in at the last minute, because people will come in the last couple seconds and hit bid, and but it gives you the bid amount. You don't place your amount. Like the person might start it off at $3, and then the next bid is $4. Next bid might be $5, that kind of thing. And then you can stop whenever you want. You don't have to, it's not anything. But I didn't mean to go on it like that. I mean, I was going to wait and talk about it when I show my stuff. But, okay, so first of all, what I've got to show is, now my table's full. I'll probably have to take little breaks and clean it off. But I'm just going to start with my FFOs first. And I will start with my Patriotic FFOs. And I do have a couple of little crafty FFOs that I did. Not FFOs, but finishes that I worked on. I got one more thing I got to go get. These are all patriotic FFOs that I had worked on. And my first one I've got done is, I don't have the actual charts, but I know who they're from. Is from Plum Street Samplers, and I stitched Henpeck, and this is my FFO. I had found this old grater at a thrift store for like a couple of bucks, and I just FFO'd it on it. I put the magnet on the back of my finish. Yeah, and I don't, this is all my back slip, but nobody's gonna see it. But this is it. And I stitched this on a 20 count Dove by Color & Cotton. I did not, if I had the call for, I used it, but I do know the chickens here and the border are from Raven Feather from Stitch and Stuff, I believe. Stitchy Co, it's an Etsy store, and she sells variegated fabrics. I mean, not fabrics, flosses. And so, and I like her flosses. I have several. And I love how it turned out. And I don't think this mound of grass is the called for. It was just some that I had. But yeah, I just finished it with this gingham fabric in the back. And then I just made like a little messy bow. It's got some ritrack in it. This is just some trim finishing that I had. This white is some muslin fabric that I had just ripped up. And I just tied it at the top. And I think it makes a really cute little finish. There. So I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out so cute on my little old grater. And so, yeah. So that's it. This is it. I love how it turned out. And I only used one strand of floss with this. Okay, my second FFO is I stitched Patriotic Sam by Not Forgotten Farms. And I had told Sandy, my friend Stitching with Sandy, she has a Flosstube. I will put her below, but we've met through Flosstube and just become, of course, we're on the opposite sides of, she's out in California and I'm in Arkansas, so we've never met in person. That is our goal one day, is to meet in person. But we Zoom a lot and text a lot during the week. But she had talked about she was going to finish him as a stand-up. So I said, oh, hold up, I'm stitching him right now. You know, I'm a much slower stitcher than Sandy. And so, but I really worked hard to get him finished, so I wouldn't hold her up too long. And so we Zoomed one night and we did stand-ups. And this is my stand-up. Now, I used the Call for DMC instead of the coat, but the coat is not. If you're interested in the color I've got it, I got it right here. I think I do. Yeah. The Call for, oh, sorry, Hank. My dog was in here when I dropped that. He ran out. The Call for was kind of brownish looking, and I didn't like that. So I stitched him in DMC 355. That's the color of the coat and the pinwheel and the firecracker there that I used. And it's this, DMC 355. And I've kept them all in a bag because I want to do Betsy. She's, this is, let me see, I think I've got her right here. No, I don't. But this is the actual chart of Patriotic Sound. This is what, and it's from Not Forgotten Farms on Etsy, and it's a PDF. So, but I do have Betsy, and I want to finish her. But I want to do her stand-up. And I think for my first time, I did pretty good. You can tell over here I struggled a little bit. But you know what? I'm not a perfectionist, even though I do critique myself very, you know, like I see all the mistakes right away. But I think he looks fine. I did have a problem with, and this area right here, some of my stitching came loose, and I was scared to go back and redo it. So, because it was just a little small part. So I stuck some hot glue because I knew I was going to be covering it up with this rickrack. But I think that kept it from being able to stuff it. That's why it's kind of looks the way it does here. But I'm still proud of it. I just put some rickrack around the bottom, and it does look very cute with my patriotic display. But I definitely want to make some more. This is just with fiberfill and walnut shells. And I got to get some more. I'm just going to have to order some from Amazon. I have looked at Tractor Supply. I've gone to the pet store in Little Rock. There is one here, but I doubt very seriously they sell it too. And I'm just going to order it from Amazon. But I think it turned out so cute. This is on a 28 count. I think it's one of the taupes. I'm not sure. It might be mushroom. But it's either mushroom or light taupe or one of those. But it is a 28 count, and I used 2 strands of floss. And it's all DMC. It's all called for except for the coat. And so, oh, and the cheeks. Now the cheeks are, I did use the call for on it. I wasn't originally, but I didn't have it. But I ended up during that time going to Little Rock. And I went ahead and went to Hobby Lobby and bought the call for. So, but I think he turned out so cute. I think he's so cute. Oh, and this is my bag. This was just some fabric that I had in my stash. And I think I have enough to, or something that will coordinate with it to do Betsy. But it'll be a little bit before she's done. I'm kind of, moved on to some other things, but I'll talk about it in a minute. I am going to do the 13 for $2.50 sale, I believe, with Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, and Nancy with the Laughing Face Stitcher. They're hosting, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But, and then I have one more. Well, I have actually 2 more FFOs, but this one is another patriotic. And yeah, this is my favorite. I love how it turned out. This was called Strawberries and, oh my gosh, what was this called? I've done put it up. I will, I've got it listed. I will put it in my show notes what this chart is, but it's from Needle Treasure Nooks on Etsy. And I think it was called Strawberries in USA or something like that. But I stitched this on a 32 count piece of scrap that I had, and I just pulled colors that were similar to what she called for. But this is my thrifting basket that I had thrifted. And y'all, I think it's turned out so good. I had these rolling pins. I had bought a pack of them off of Amazon. And I thought, because I really like the look of the old rolling pins in the bowls and things like that. And I thought, well, you know what? This would be perfect to sand and distress these and put them in here as a little finishing piece. And I love how it turned out. I think I have a couple more left that I can do. And I just put some greenery in it. I've just kind of got it haphazardly in here. That is my weakness, is floral design. I am not good at putting together floral pieces. But I just finished this with some rickrack, and it fit perfect in here. So I love how it turned out. The only thing I wish I would have done is I glued it in, and I really wish I would have done a magnet on it. That way, I think it would be cute for Christmas, for any season. So I think I'm going to work to pop it off and maybe not tear up the basket lid too much. And if I did, I can kind of put some cardstock in it. But wouldn't that be cute, like for Christmas, to put things, you know, find a cute. But yeah, I love how it turned out. This is my favorite. I just think he's so cute. And I had this is my biscornu I made. I took a class at the Shepherd's Needle over the summer. And, or maybe it was before school was out. But this was the biscornu I made. And so I had it just kind of tucked in here like this. Then I made these little fabric popsicles. And I just distressed it with some of ink that I have, that distressing ink. Oh, it's from, what's it called? You buy them in the little ink pads. Hold on, I'll get them so I can show what I'm talking about. Here they are. Now, I know a lot of people buy the little ones. Hobby Lobby, when I bought these, did not have, all they had was the big, or Michael's. But this is the brand, and you can buy a pack of little small ones that have all of those, all the colors. And they're smaller and they're easier to manage. So that was like I did, and I rubbed that all over it. But then I also had bought this distressing ink, and I sprayed some of it on it also. So like how I think it turned out. These were a little smaller than what I wanted, but I actually, I don't think I stitched this. I think I hot glued it. I did. These are hot glued. And so, but isn't it cute? And then I just had some popsicle sticks that I stained. And I think it looks really cute. Just stuck in here. Just a cute little patriotic little display. And I love it. I love how it turned out. So that's that one. That is all the FFOs for Patriotic. So let me show you real quick my other little crafty things that I did that were patriotic. I found some like little wooden type stars or plastic at Dollar Tree. And this was the color of them originally. I didn't ever do anything with the back. But I took the cinnamon and Mod Podge, and I also used a little bit of pumpkin spice because it gives it a little darker texture. And this, I made a rusty star with it. Y'all, this is so cute. See, I can put, they're a little bigger. I would love to find some small ones, but this looks really cute in my patriotic little vignette I have going on. And I hope I said that right. It's a little table with my patriotic displays on them. But I did 2 of them. But it's super easy. And, you know, if anybody would be interested in a tutorial, I've never done tutorials, but I feel like I could do a tutorial on this. It's several steps because you got to let things dry, and it gets messy. It gets very messy, and you definitely want gloves. But I love how it turned out. And so, and I just recently saw where Chantel of 121, I actually joined. I wasn't going to join her Patreon, but I really love these painting techniques that she puts out. Now, I did not get the high tier. I'm in the middle tier. And she did a finishing tutorial using this technique with wood, like on a finished piece, like her wood pieces that you buy to finish. And I thought, I never would have thought of that. And it was really cute. Now, you know, this kind of things like this I think about, but I would have never thought to put this technique on a finishing piece that you buy. So, but yeah, if you're interested in just a tutorial on how to do this, it's very easy. I wouldn't mind at all. I would be happy to show y'all how to do it. Like I said, I've never done a tutorial, so it'll be a learning experience. So I did those. Then I had been seeing all over Pinterest the flowers that everybody's making with fabric. And these are mine that I did. Now, I don't really like this canister thing that I have them in, but I just used it. I think they would be better in that was bigger mouthed, where they're not all that scrunched together. But, and you could put greenery in with them and stuff, but just for this purpose, I just did this. But this is them. I just had them on a little dowel rod, and I just ripped material, and then, but let me tell you how I did this, because I feel like most everybody's going to have this stuff on hand. This is made out of an empty ribbon spool. And if you see how, you know, I don't want to take all this ribbon out, but it kind of forms a lip once the ribbon is out. And that's what I use, because what I did is I just cut these in strips and I tied knots, and then I glued them down in that lip. And then I covered the top part of here. Now, I did have to put a piece of batting here to cover up the hole, but I just covered it, and that's the back. But, and then this one's kind of glued on a little crooked. But, and I see now I could have, my trimming is not the greatest, but you know, and I distressed them. Let me see if this one might, yeah, see? And I distressed them with coffee grounds or my cinnamon mixture and the spray again. And then I took a little bit of it and did the leaves. I mean, the little flower petals here, not leaves. But I just had some dowel rods that I painted and distressed. And then I covered the back up to give the stability to the stick. But I love how they turned out. Like I said, I just stuck them in here, but now that the season's almost over, I'm probably just going to leave them. But I do think it would be prettier in a different type of container, and you could put greenery in it and things like that. But I think they're so cute. So that was another thing that I had done. So, and like I said, I didn't have to go, but this was all fabric. Nothing here with these flowers was bought to do this. It was stuff I had on hand. And so, because I actually had some ribbon spools that were almost empty, so I just used those. And I had a couple of different sizes, and so, but yeah, so this is what it's made with. So I had got this idea from a lady that I will watch occasionally. Her name is Tracy. Her channel is, I'll link her channel below. It's Homemade with Tracy. I can't think of it now, but she is a YouTuber that does DIYs. And so I had gotten, and she had done these with the ribbon spools like that. And so that's where I got the idea from. So that is all my patriotic stuff that I have done. Now I have one more finish. And if you have been with me for a while, it's a partial finish. If you've been with me for a while, you have heard me talk about this particular piece numerous times. And I finished my animal cracker suit. I call it, it was Scarlet was originally, but we had a little Boston Terrier named Susie that my husband absolutely adored, and she loved him. She went fishing with him. She would ride the lawnmower with him, and she was a rescue. I had gotten her originally for my daughter, and Susie took to my husband though. And so But I decided, I had debated about this because Scarlett has a little dress, just as cute. I mean, it's a cute piece, but she has a dress on. And I had debated on what to do about that dress because Susie had a little pink sweater that my mother put her in because at the time she had the dementia, and that made her happy was to dress Susie. The sweater was a little snug, and so she did look kind of stuffed in it, but it wasn't like too tight for her, but it was a little snug. But my mother would put her in that sweater. But then I got to thinking, and I wanted to find some floss similar to that color of that sweater. But then I got to thinking, and I thought, well, this is for your husband. This is for Bubba, my husband. And I think, how am I going to finish this that he would appreciate? And he isn't going to care about that sweater or dress. So what I did is I just stitched her head and I made it into an ornament. And this is it. And I think it turned out so cute. I'm glad I went this direction because he would be much happier with the ornament. I just trimmed around it, made a circle, and then I've got some green fabric behind it. And this was just an ornament that I think they came from maybe the Dollar Tree or no, maybe Goodwill. But I painted them red and kind of distressed it. Now I do want to get, and I think I'm going to have to make one because I have thought about getting one of those, little name tags that are made to look like a bone. Well, when I went to Little Rock that last weekend, and when I went into the pet store to look for the lizard litter, which is the ground walnut one, I thought, well, I'm going to check on those little name tags that you can buy. Now, they've gone up in prices. I'm thinking they're going to be like $5 or $6. No, they were like $15, $16, $17. And I thought, no, I'm not doing that. So I think I'm going to cut out, I've got a silhouette and I can download a little bone. And I'm just going to cut it out and on some cardstock and just make a little bone and put her name in it. And so that's how I'm going to finish it. And then maybe put some little bells or a ribbon with it. But this is it. Now this is all the call for. And this is on a 40 count fabric. And it's just an off-white I have. I can't think of the name of it. But it's with one strand of floss. And I know y'all are thinking she didn't finish it. Well, I did. Susie, when we got her, had the tip of one of her ears missing. It was long healed. We have no clue what had happened. Probably got bit off. And, but yes, she had a tip of her ear missing. But now here's the funny thing. I made the wrong ear with the tip missing. And that's going to be the first thing my husband says when he sees this. Well, that wasn't. Susie's right ear was the tip that was missing. And I did it the left. I didn't even think about it. And now I've already got backing. I can't fix it. So it just is what it is. But I tried. But yes, she did. So I did want to. So I left off the tip of her ear. So that's it. That's my little Susie finish. So and I know he's going to be very appreciative of this. And we can hang it on our tree. So that's it. That's all my FFOs. Now I do have one finish that is not, here it is, that is not FFO'd. And I finished, it's part of the Brenda Gervais Summer Trio. This was a new market release, just released. And I finished Hello Summer. And I stitched this on a 40 count. Matter of fact, it's off of the same fabric as that little Susie ornaments on. And I don't know what it is. But this is my finish. And I've got plenty more to stitch the other two pillows. But this is it. And I think it turned out so cute. I did not use necessarily the call for, but I just used what I had in stash. But I do like how it turned out. And this is 1/1. one strand of floss over one thread. But I think it turned out so cute. Now, I did leave out, I think, no, I didn't. I stitched them. I was thinking it has some other little doodads in it, but it didn't. So now I've got it, everything still in the bag. I'm going to start this house next. That's the one I want to start. And I'm going to wait and FFO them all together so they all three have the same backing fabric. Okay, so that is all my FFOs. Insert this. I have another FFO I forgot to show, and I wanted to show it. And this is Barbara Anna's Freedom. These were two. This is a free chart you get. It's on the Star Spangled Stitchers Facebook group. And this came with two charts. One has houses, and I think it's called Liberty. And then this one's called Freedom. But this is my finish. Now, mine looks completely different because there is some grass here, and then underneath it, she had charted the word freedom. I pulled colors that I liked. I did change. Now, Sandy gave me the idea to change the vase that this is in, the little planter, but I changed the bird, and I love my bird. He's stitched with a blue variegated, but I'm used 18 count cottage stone by Color and Cotton. It's an old fabric. I'd had it for a long time. I caught it on sale one time on their website. But I just did this simple little pillow, and I tied some floss around just some twine, made me a little twine bow, and then here's my back. This is with a pair of old blue jeans that I had, that I cut up, and I think it turned out really, really cute. I love it. So now I do want to stitch the other houses, the other chart. I think it's very cute too. But I just kind of made some modifications on it to make it my own. But I think it turned out so cute. So I was putting all my stuff away, cleaning up from the video, and I was like, I forgot to show that one. And I just want to hop on here real quick. And all my finishes. So now I will move on to whips. Oh, and I forgot to say, in the beginning of this video, I had a giveaway for a gift certificate to the Shepherd's Needle, and I wanted to do it at the beginning of the video because it's been so long since I filmed. So I'll just go ahead and do it now. But I did do the spinner wheel, and I took a screenshot of it, and the winner of the $25 gift certificate to, let me find it. The winner for the giveaway for the $25 gift certificate is, and I will also write it across the screen, Janet R. Cross Stitch. Once again, it's Janet R. Cross Stitch. I just want to thank you so much for your comment, and I will, here's the name right there. So I will be contacting you. Well, please, I'm going to make sure I put my email address in this description box. I know I'm bad about not doing it, but I'm going to make sure I put my email address, and please reach out to me. And when I hear back from you, I will give you the details of the gift certificate and how it works. So, but yeah, you will easily be able to use it online, or you can call, or if you are local to the Shepherd's Needle, you can go in. But yeah, so that's, congratulations, Janet. Okay, so now I'm just going to go with, they see, I don't know, I left my blinds in my living room open, and there was a truck, and they have to bark at the trucks. So, hopefully they'll be quiet here in a minute. If not, I'll go shut them. And this won't be in any particular order on what I've done, but I will, hold on. Okay, maybe she's going to be quiet. Okay, I guess what I'll do is I'll just start off with things that I worked on that were patriotic, so that way I will talk more about the sow. It's called, and I know a lot of you probably have already heard about it because there's a lot of Flosstubers that are doing it. I believe it's called 12 for 250 because next year is the nation's 250th birthday. And so what it is you're supposed to get, or 13 for 250. You are supposed to get, work on or finish a small once a month so that way, for the whole year, so that way you have got, when next year, July rolls around, 4th of July, you've got some finished patriotic smalls. And I know there is a PDF flag that you can download and keep up with it. I just haven't done it yet. But I do have several things that, let me just go shut my blind, hold on. So I do plan on printing out that flag and keeping up with it that way. But I've got several things kind of pulled that I want to work on throughout the year. But what I thought I would do, because I was so indecisive what I wanted to work on, I just pulled out several things. And then I'm just going to pick that month, what I'm going to work on. And then there is a few things that I'm going to, I think I just want to get some progress done on some of my bigger wicks because I have a new start. And I really would like to see some progress on it. So, that being said, let me start with, this is a whip that I've been working on, and it is Plum Street Samplers Liberty Lodge. And I've made a lot of progress on this. But don't let this fool you. There's a whole lot of stitching. That house it's going to take forever. And I'm already off count, but, and I had restarted it because I was off count. Now I'm off count again, but I'm not restarting it. But I feel like with me, and I know a lot of other people say it, it's not, I feel like I get off count in every piece. So it's just is what it is. I guess I struggle with counting. And, I can count over and over and over, and it never fails. I can just be so, keeping up with everything that never fails. I'm going to miss a stitch somewhere. But I do love this. I'm stitching it on 18 count Heritage by Picture This Plus, which is the called for fabric. I believe that's, is it hair? Yes. Mine's on 18 count. And I'm using I'm only using one strand of floss with this. But it's all the called for colors. And I really need a backing board. And y'all, if the light goes in and out, my ring light has gone out and I just haven't replaced it. So I've got my blinds open and the sun is really starting to pop out now. So I hope everything's going to look good. But this is where I'm at. And I do love this. But like I said, I've made a lot of progress. I've started on the truck down here. That's starting of the truck. And I've got this motif here. I think there's a few more flowers that maybe need to be added to that. There's a few more things that need to be done. But yeah, I think I've made some really good progress. Like I said, it's nowhere, really and truly, it's nowhere being close because of that house and the truck. But yeah, I've got to get back to this. I've been kind of concentrating on the end of the month. I've been concentrating on Christmas in July. But definitely, this might be one that I work on until I finish for my 13 out of 12. I don't, sure, but okay. I guess I'm going to have to get my other dogs in because I think she hears them barking. Okay, we'll put that down there. Okay. Now, this one is almost a finish, but not quite. This is the one I had, this is Hands On Designs, A Summer Basket. And I guess it was last year, Nicole Spohr was doing a stitch along where she was using these designs. Now there are 4 other seasons. You got, I believe, or maybe 3 other. You got winter, fall, and spring, I believe. And I chose the summer. But you stitch 2 of these and then you turn them into a biscornu. And she had done a stitch along with that, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And at the time, I never done a biscornu, but since then I have. So now I kind of know what to do. But so I'm stitching this. I finished this one, and now I'm working on this one. So that's another one I will be working on towards my 13 for 30. But this is the first one that I finished. I got it done. I think it is so pretty, but I didn't enjoy stitching this one. It took a while. What cracks me up is some of these Flosstubers will get on here and they'll say, oh, it's such a quick stitch. It's such a quick stitch. I did all this in 2 days. And I'm like, how? Because nothing's a quick stitch to me. Even some of these that are like tiny, I'm like, it's still not a quick stitch. So, but yeah, it took me a while, but I think it's so pretty. And I'm using 32 count artichoke, and I'm using 2 strands of floss, and it's all DMC, and I believe it's the call for DMC. Now the white, I think I had to brighten up because you could, I'm using a different white, but that's it. But yeah, isn't that pretty? So that one is done. And I started on my second one. And I made me a little mark at the top so I know what the top of it is. And this is where I'm at on the second part. I think it's, yeah. So this one I think will go faster. But I started in the middle for these, because these fabric were cut specifically for this. I got this fabric from the shepherd's needle and they cut it for me. So I started in the middle. So, but that's where I'm at with these. So hopefully I will get these done too. This will definitely be part of my 13 for 30. Hold on, I just got a text. Okay. That is another Patriotic that I've worked on. Now I've got, let me see, that's not it. I want to get my new, and it's also in a new bag. I bought this bag at Shepherd's Needle for like $5, and just a nice roomy bag. So, but I finally have started, got it kitted up and got it in. And they've had this one on display. They have this actual finish on display at the Shepherd's Needle. And every time I go there to stitch, I would look at it because it's in that back room where I sit and stitch. And then also Amy with Renewing Stitches, she is stitching it. And I just love it. And so I bought it and got it kitted up. And it's Heritage Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. Yeah, I can't tell you, I just love it. It is so pretty stitched. So, I've gotten it started. But then I felt, like I said, for July, the second part's been Christmas. And so, but I'm stitching this on. It's a Grace Notes fabric that, and it's a 36 count. I think I still have the little tag. Yeah, I am so sorry she keeps barking. I don't know. I've shut the blinds. I think maybe I need to get, just a second. Yeah, we have new neighbors, and they have dogs. And one of their dogs just had, well, they're like 6 weeks old. Well, they have them on their back porch. And so my dogs are barking at the puppies roaming around. And then I think some of their dogs are outside too. And so I was just like, okay, y'all got to come in. Because the one you heard barking was actually in the house. But the others were outside barking. You couldn't hear them. But she was in the house barking with them in the house. So, anyway. But this is on a Grace Notes fabric. It's a 36 count. Can't remember the name, and I've lost the little tag. But this is where I'm at. That's as far as I got. But I'm definitely going to pull this. I want to pull this back out here this week and work on it. I love this. So, but yeah. And it's all, like I said, it's all the call for flosses. So, but yeah. That's it. So pretty. Okay, so that is all the patriotic stitching that I've done, but I do have just a couple I wanted to kind of go over and show real quick that I wanted to start. And there is a couple. There's one that I'm thinking about out of here, this souvenir. I love this top one. I mean, this front cover one. And I'm also thinking about this one because, you know, my husband fishes. And so I think that would be a fun one to do. I just love this book. I mean, that one's so pretty. Almost all these out of here. So I would like to start one out of here. And I want to start this one here. I just got to stitch these. I bought this book and I've done nothing with it because I love all these. So, got that one I want to work on. And then, of course, Plum Street Samplers Nelson. And I have Blue, whatever his name is, Blue Skin. And yeah, I watched a very interesting documentary on Amazon on George Washington and the battles he was in, and the Revolutionary War, I guess, and because he was the general in it, and then after that he became the first president of the United States. And that was very interesting. Now, it really concentrated on the war and his decisions and how he came about with some of the stuff he did. But it was very interesting. But those two. And of course I've got Brenda Gervais, Grand Old Flag I want to do. And then this one for sure, Patriotic Tweet by Tracy Kogut. And Oh Glory. So many I want to do. But then this morning, y'all, I was watching Niecy Lynn. And she had done, it's the Waxy Moon Designs. She put out the Patriotic Barn series maybe 2 years ago. And of course I bought it because I was raised, I grew up next door to my mother's parents. And my grandfather boarded horses. We had 2 barns back there. So barns and horses have always been a part of my life. Even though, now my brother rode. I rode a little bit, but I mean, my brother did the horse shows, all that. My grandfather did the horse shows and did mounted patrol, and they both did. So I grew up going to horse shows. But anyway, so when I saw those barns, I was like, oh, I got to get those. But yeah, I'm so glad I had not started them because she stitched them all together and turned them into a drum. And it is so cute. So that, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Now mine are PDFs. So PDF forms is how I have mine. But yeah, so that's just kind of a little insight of some things that I would like to start this year for Patriotic, for the 13250 sale. Who knows, some of it might completely change and I might find another chart that I just got to stitch. But yeah, so that's all my patriotic stuff that I've worked on. Now I'm just going to move on to some new, some of these are new that you haven't seen, and then there are some that are a few whips. But the first one is, and I talked about it, and y'all don't laugh, I'm out of project bags. So a couple of them are living in the sack that they came in. So I'm stitching this. Now Sandy has, of course, already finished it. But Sandy and Shelly with Keep On Stitching, I believe that's her, or Just Cross Stitch, just Stitching. I'll link her channel below. They share the same birth date, and so they always do a birthday start. So this year I started with them, and they chose Ladybug Picnic by Hands On Designs. And so this is my progress where I'm at. Now I do have the call for floss, and I'm stitching mine on an 18 count fabric that I just hand dyed myself. I had some pink and mauve, and I just dyed it myself, and I really am pleased with it. I love how it turned out. But this is where I'm at, and y'all, this ladybug is no joke. It took a while to stitch, and I still haven't put the legs in, and I've got, y'all, I am so sorry. Maybe I can drown them out with something. I mean, I brought them in to keep from this. But the bottom part, I still got to do. And I still got, I don't know, and a lot of back, there's several back, looks like quite a bit of back stitch. So, but yeah, isn't that cute? I think she's so cute. Okay, now my next one, and I don't know, it's a new start also. This was a Mother's Day gift. I had actually set it back at the Shepherd's Needle. I was going to pick up the next time I was there. And it's Autumn Bee by the Blue Flower. They've also got this stitched as a model, and it is so pretty. My husband had kitted it in DMC, but I have since then gone and bought some of the silks because I love the look of this wing, and I love the look of this. So I went and bought some of the silks because it just wasn't going, and that's why I like it. And so it wasn't going to have that same effect with some of just all the DMC. So now I am keeping a lot of the DMC in it, but this is where I'm at. It's not a big start. This is stitched on 32 count gray mauve. It's a swag art. And this is my start. It definitely got put aside. And this is, okay, I put a mark for the top. Here it is. But this is it. Now, right now, this is all DMC, the colors. But I am going to start with, I did get, like I said, the body of the wings and the body of the bee. I went ahead and bought the silks that were being used. So, but that's it. And this is 32 count using 2 strands of floss. I think this fabric's very pretty. But y'all, this is so pretty stitched. So I've got to get back to it. But I've got, and I need to kind of go through and eliminate some flosses because I originally thought, well, I will pull my variegated flosses out and see if I got anything close to those DMC and swap those out. But I still didn't have anything for that wing. And so that's when I went, that's when I decided to go with the silks. Just buy the silks, you know. So, but I bought like 3 or 4 silks. That's it. But, so I hadn't even pulled them out and used them yet. So hopefully my next Flosstube, sorry for the crinkle, will be, maybe it'll have some more progress on it. Okay, now this one is not a new start. It is, but I did make a little bit of progress on it. And it is my birthday stitch from last year. And it's fixing to be, my birthday's coming up in August, so it's close to being a year. And I'm really ashamed at how much the progress I have. But it's Plum Street Samplers Blackberry House. And this is a piece of Grace Notes 36 note 36 count Grace Notes fabric that once again, I've lost the actual name of it. But it's very pretty. It's got some like pinks modeled in it. It's a very pretty fabric. And I thought it would be perfect for this Plum Street this Blackberry house. But this is where I'm at. I did get a leaf going, and I have started on, got the little birdhouse finished. So, but that's my little start. I've got, for the most part, this top area is done. So I do think, I think there's another motif that goes there. Yeah, but that's my progress. So you can tell I like Plum Street samplers. Got a lot of her stuff going. Okay, and then this one is, I just one day got in the mood to stitch some Halloween, and I had not worked on my Midnight Watch in a while. This is it from Blackbird Designs, and so I pulled it out. And this is another one I've made some pretty good progress on. Now, I originally stitched this with Laura, with Stitching by the Shore, and we both were not going to do the border, but I have since changed my mind and want to do the border. But now she has finished hers, and it turned out really pretty. And she did it on a very pretty purple fabric, and it really turned out very pretty. But this is where I'm at. I've worked some more on the border, and I got in some of the vines here, and I started on this vine. And I made a lot of progress on the house. The house doesn't like much being done, but I'm doing the DMC conversion. And so, but I thought, because at first I wasn't going to do the border and was just going to cut off at the house. Well, then I went back and I said, well, no, I want to do the border and I want to do the alphabet. But now I'm seriously thinking about not doing the alphabet and then just bringing the border down, like just bringing it across and then cutting it off there. So, but who knows, by the time I get ready to do the ABCs, what I will feel like doing. But that's my plan right now, is to eliminate the alphabet and then just like extend the border down a little bit and cut across there. But that's, and this is just on a 32 count gray that I think I originally had bought for something else, and it was too light, and so I just took some Rick gray that I have. It might be pearl gray or what's another one of those grays that I have, but I darkened it up with it, and I really like how it turned out. So that's it. And I do like this stitch. It's one of those that when I get started on it, it's hard to put up. I really enjoy it. Alrighty, and I think everything else I have to show is a new start. Now, there were some pieces that I worked on, but I only got in maybe 20 stitches because, like I've said before, I do once a week keep a grandson, and those nights I don't stitch because the time I get him to bed, I'm tired. So I don't stitch. So there is a few nights during the week that I don't stitch, or I get very little stitching in. And so there was not enough to show. So I did not want to show those. So everything else is a new start. So my first new start, and I haven't worked on this a whole lot, but I have started it. And I was watching Amy with Renewing Stitches, and she was talking about this, and it's by My Big Toe, and it's the books of the Bible. Because she was talking about, she is going through and reading all the books of the Bible. And when she said that, I was like, oh, well, I need to get this chart. Never heard of it, because I don't know if you've ever heard of the plan. It's by Tara Lee Cobble, and it's called the Bible Recap. and she takes the books of the Bible, and you read. She has it broke out daily, and you read so many chapters a day, and then she has a little video of a recap. And I really enjoy it. You can buy a study guide, which now I do want to get. But I've fallen behind because she goes through part of Genesis, and then she stops and then goes to Job. And Job is a very long book of the Bible. And it's a lot, it's just not, it's hard to read. And I've struggled. And so I put it up for a little while. And then when I was watching Amy's video and she was talking about this chart, I thought, well, I need to get this chart because maybe that will help me also when I stitch, when I finish a book, I can stitch the name in here. And so, but I did finish Genesis, and I've gotten Job finished. Now we're on Exodus. But I do enjoy it. It's very good. And but this is the chart, and I don't have a lot done. I am using the Call for DMC because I liked them. I thought they were pretty. I know there's, Amy talked about, she's doing it, and maybe the Mud Creek Stitcher is doing it. And then there's Rachel Q Stitches that's also stitching it. I'm not sure about the others, if there is any more. But this is on Grace Notes Fabric Marble. It's 36 count. And I'm just showing it because I wanted to talk about this project. But all I have is the border. And I'm still stitching on the border. So I got to get busy because I can now go ahead and put Genesis in. And so, and then when I get, because she skipped, when I do get to, oh my gosh, he just left me. Job. When I do get to Job, I can go ahead and stitch that. But so far, that's the only time she has skipped. But yeah, I think it's a very pretty chart. And so I've got that going. But because of July and Christmas in July and Patriotic stitching, it just kind of went to the side. Then I've also have started with Laura Stitching by the Shore, and I know Amy Renewing Stitches is doing it. I think Karen the Stitching Owl, and Mary Stitching Corner, and I know there's some others, but they're all doing these by Doreen Jones, Butterflies and Flowers, or a butterfly chart. I don't think it necessarily has to be Doreen Jones, but they all picked one. And I really thought they were so pretty. And that's completely not what I normally stitch, but I think they are so pretty. And so I've got the Peacock and Orange Sulfur one. It's I just like these colors. I like the blues and the greens. It's kind of got a fall look to it to me. And so that's the one I'm going with. And I'm just stitching this on an 18 count white with 2 strands. I had originally, and I'm just buying some of the DMC I've had to go buy, so that's why it's at where it's at. But at first, I wanted to stitch it with just 1 strand of floss. And but I wasn't liking the coverage. I was like, it's not vibrant. I wanted it to be, very vibrant. So luckily this is a big enough piece. I think it just came from Hobby Lobby, that I can start it over and get it in. And so now this is with 2 strands, and this is where I'm at. Like I said, I haven't touched it in a while. But I think Laura, now if you want to see some people, Laura, now I know Laura has gotten quite a bit done on hers. And I think hers is more of a purple, blues and purples. But yeah, that's where I'm at. But they're very pretty. So they don't know it, but I'm joining in with them. I haven't told them. I'm horrible. I'm horrible about commenting on other people's videos. I don't know why. I mean, it's just, you know, I think, well, I got to go get up real quick and do this, and I'll comment later. And then I never do. Or if I'm watching it on the TV, I'm like, well, I'll comment after I'm done, and then I never do. And so, yeah, they don't know I'm stitching it with them. But if they watch this video, they will. So now I've got one more new start, and that can lead into my haul. Because, you know, I talked about I've got a new grandbaby. He was here Tuesday. He came this past Tuesday. And I'd always said I wanted to stitch ornaments, start with my grandbabies and start ornaments. Well, the first two are two, and I haven't done an ornament yet. So I thought, well, I'm going to start on Austin's and get his done, and then we'll get that going. And so I had picked up at the Shepherd's Needle, one of the ladies I was stitching with, she was stitching some Mill Hill ornaments one day. And I thought, I hadn't even thought about those ornaments. So I went, and Anne has a pretty good selection. So I got Winter Teddy Bear. No, what's this called? I think it's just called Teddy Bear. And these are kits. Everything comes in them. So I got the teddy bear. And then I got the snow globe one. And this snow globe, it's got a little teddy bear and a nutcracker. These are kind of mainly for me. I do want to find, because the only other one kind of animal like that was this little rocking horse. And I had started this one for Austin. And this is my progress. And y'all, this has taken me a while to do. Like, this is, you know, like I was talking about, people will say, oh, I whipped this out in a day. And I'm like, it's taken me 2 weeks. And so, but this, I did get quite a bit accomplished this morning. So I really don't like much. And I'm going to work on this till I finish it. But the only thing left to do is some stitching wise. There's some stitches through here. I got 1 or 2 through in here in this part, and then the blue background I've got to do. And then I will be ready for beading. And so, but I think he's turning out really cute. There, you can see it a lot better. But let me tell you what happened. Because, you know, they give you the floss. Well, I had miscounted up here in this little head. Yeah, he looks like a little puppy dog, don't he? You know, I could leave him like that and just call it a little puppy dog. I'm going to put the antlers, though. But to me, it looks like a little puppy dog. But anyway, I had miscounted. And so when I took it all out, a lot of the thread shredded. And I did not have enough to finish. I wasn't going to have enough to finish this, the whole body. And so what I had to do, because I had started on the body too, but that's when I realized when somewhere I was doing some of the blue, and that's when I realized I was off count. So I pulled, so I thought, well, surely I got some floss in my DMC that's really close. Well, I pulled this thinking, and it's DMC 420. And I was thinking, oh, this will work. It was really close. Just looking at it, it was really close. But when I started stitching it, you could tell a difference. So I pulled the whole thing out, everything that I had done, and I did my reindeer in DMC 420. And he looks fine. You know, nobody's going to know the difference. But the rest of the floss, I've had plenty. But because of that major mistake, and I had to take out so much, I was not able to restitch it in that same color because I had shredded so much of it. So it all worked out. So, but yeah, this one will definitely be a finish for my next video because, like I said, I want to get this done and get it beaded and turned into an ornament. And then I think 1, 2, 3 Stitch has got some more on there. Where I can find either another little rocking horse or another little animal. And I thought that would be cute to do them all 3, like the rocking horse, the teddy bear, and we'll just see what else I can find. But, so that's it. And I'm going to put, when I was digging through my stuff, I had it in a Ziploc bag. But I found this little bag that a lady, it was at the Jingle Ball last year. The Shepherd's Needle has a special event. And one of the ladies made these for everybody. And I thought, well, this will be perfect for my little meal hill. And so that's what I'm going to keep my, I don't need that anymore. But I'm going to keep my everything in this little bag. And I thought, well, that's perfect. So, and that's it. Now, my floss are still in the living room, but isn't that perfect? So, there's that. Oh my gosh, I need to put that with, hold on. I just realized that I had left out the floss out of a project, and I will never find it again if I won't remember. So, that is everything, for the most part, that I've worked on and that I've finished for the last, I feel like it's been at least 3, maybe 4 months. Maybe not quite 4, but I know for sure 3. So, so now I will move on to my thrift and haul. And just, I've got some kindness that somebody sent me. And just some things that I have bought. So, first I will just start with some charts that I have bought at the Shepherd's Needle when I go to stitch. Excuse me, I'm going to have to go get me something to drink. Dry. Dust is just everywhere. It's just out of control. And so this gets my allergies flared up. And so that's why I had a tickle in my throat. Okay, now for my little bit of a haul. Like I said, I have bought some other stuff, but I have put it up. But I bought Heart and Hands Nativity Row as a market release. And so the Shepherd Needle had their frills. So I bought the Shepherd. And I bought the, I think this is the Osman right here. So I did get those. I bought another Nutcracker from Stacy Nash, and it's Nettie, or Nettle. Y'all, this is so cute stitched. They have them all on display at the Shepherd's Needle. And I originally, I did not want to stitch them because I was worried about the finishing. Well, then one of the ladies, Carrie, that I stitched with, she was talking about she had seen Crow River Stitcher did them on perforated paper. And so I bought the paper. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. But since then, Tammy, her name, she's a Flosstuber. I can't think of her last name. I will put it in the description box. She did a tutorial on how she finished these. And I don't think it's going to be as bad as I thought. So I might try to sew one. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll just see what I feel like. I'm scared to, I don't want it to be all crooked, but the way she showed it, it looks like it would be a lot easier than what I thought. But I've seen, this one is a model at the store too, and it's so cute. So I bought that. Then I want to start doing the Prairie Schooler Santas. So this one is, now I've already got 94. My son was born in 94. My daughter was born, he was born at the end of 94. And my daughter was born in 96. And so I got, his is the Prairie Schooler with sunflowers. And I think I've already got it somewhere. And then, but I did get, they ordered it for me, the 96 Prairie Schooler. And so these are them. And I also can do I graduated high school in 87. So I will do 87 as the year I graduated high school. I thought that was kind of neat that worked out that way. I really wish they would have had 94 and 96 together. But it looks like, I don't know, but yeah. So that's another one. Then they had this one, and I'd seen it stitched on another Flosstuber, but it was an Nashville exclusive this past year, and it was Joy by Shakespeare's Peddler. And so I bought it, but what they gave me, because they said it came with an exclusive thread for it, and they didn't have the thread, I guess. It was exclusive for this, but they gave me a conversion of some thread that would work for it. So I thought that was really nice. So I've got that. And then I fell in love with this. It's called Summer in Baltimore by Brenda Gervais. They have a lot of these stitched as models. There also is a fall one that I want to do. And so I bought this one though. Isn't that pretty? I definitely will get the fall one though eventually. Then I bought Brick House Sampler by Brenda Gervais. I just thought that was so pretty. I love that house. And I bought, this was just up on the counter. I don't even think they have put it out yet. Rose Hill Farm Sampler and Pin Keeps. It's Stacy Nash. And I just thought this was so pretty. And I just realized there's a little biscornu down there. So I got that. I don't know when it'll be started. You know, it's a collection too. You know, not only, you know, it's collecting is part of the hobby. Thank goodness I got a husband that likes to collect fish stuff, so he doesn't fuss. Every once in a while he'll say, "You got another package in." Well, you're getting more packages than me lately. You've been doing all the buying lately. So, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I have, haven't I? But he's really, it's all in good nature. But, so that's all that I bought. Now, Kim, oh, she changed her channel. What's it called? Kim, used to be Kim J Designs. What is her channel? I'm sorry, Kim. I know you watched my videos. Is it Southern? I will put a channel below. She took a hiatus and didn't film for a year or two, and now she has started filming again. And I enjoy your channel. She always has. We stitch a lot of the same things. We became friends when she first time she filmed. I had seen her channel, and it happened to be one day that I watched it. Razorbacks were playing Georgia, and they lived in Georgia at that time, and they're big college Razorback. I mean, not Razorback fans, but husband is a big Georgia fan, and so she was talking about that, and I just commented, I'm a Razorback fan here, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so we just started talking through that and become friends. And so she sent me some things that I had talked about that I wanted and that she had already stitched or whatever. And so she sent them to me. And so I had to look it up. That was bothering me that I didn't remember her channel. It's Kim J Stitches. She went back to her original because I thought she was going to name it something else and all that stuff. But anyway, it's Kim J Stitches, and I will link her below. But she sent me December Sampler of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. I had seen, I guess it was Vanna Pfeiffer had stitched these, but on a higher count. And she turned these into pillows, and it was so cute. So I want to stitch some of these. Now I have got some of them stitched and framed like this, but I wanted to do the rest on a higher count fabric and turn them into pillows. So cute. So I did. She sent me that. Then she sent me one Mill Hill kit. It's all kitted. She never did it. It's Puppy Paws. Because she knows I have dogs. I love dogs. And so I want to stitch this up. I will probably turn this into an ornament. Or a little magnet for my refrigerator. I'm not going to frame it with this. But it also comes with everything I need. So, yeah, I thought this was very cute. Then I do not have this one, but I think it's very cute stitched, and I will stitch it. It's Primrose Cottage's Hello Autumn. I love those little acorns that spell out autumn. I think that's real cute. So she sent me that one. And she sent me Long May She Wave. This was evidently a chart that it said the pack includes a chart with 5 cotton threads necessary for your design. But she just sent me the chart because she has stitched it, and it's really cute. Now, she turned her houses, she did red, white, and blue, and it's really pretty. And I had commented it, I had seen it in some of her videos, and so she sent me this. So I want to put this in with my 13 for $350 or $250. And then, of course, she sent me November's cottage sampler. And then she sent me some color and cotton orange fabric. And I know it's like, what are you going to do with that orange fabric? But I want to coffee tea dye it and kind of grunge it up. And I thought this would be so cute to put like a fall or a Halloween piece, like a little haunted house or something like that on it. And this is 18 count. So it's a older color and cotton. It's called Cantaloupe. But I thought that would be so pretty if I put it in a coffee tea dye and kind of grunge it up. Or I'd like to do, I love, they're one of my favorite Flosstubers, and it's Unfinished Stitches. And they had put out a video just, I guess, a couple of days ago or just yesterday. I was watching it last night, and it's their newest video. And she has an Etsy store, and I've never bought anything from her Etsy store, but she talks about this antiquing spray. And I've heard some other people talk about it. So I might just get that antiquing spray and try with this. I really feel like I would like that antiquing spray. I've just got to remember to buy some. I'm bad about seeing all these great ideas, and I don't write them down, and then I forget about them. So yeah, that's my stitching haul, just, cross stitch stuff. So I did pick up a couple of things at Hobby Lobby that I thought would be good for finishing. And I got this little sign, and it has a little easel on the back. Wouldn't that be cute for finishing? Just a little round. You could either spray paint it white or leave it natural. Thought that was really pretty. It was, well, the price is gone. And I think I tore the number off. But it was at the front of the store on one of their little end caps at the front at my Hobby Lobby when I walked in. Then I also got this 4x4 white frame. I wanted it to put that Patriotic free one that the Primrose Cottage came out with last month for June. And I thought that would be pretty in here. But I never stitched it, so who knows what I'll put in it. But this is it. It's $9.99 regular, and I did pay because I don't get to Little Rock that often. And even though it's not that far, but sometimes it's just hard to make time to go. So I said, who's to say next time you're here, frames are going to be on sale. So I just bought it as is. I didn't mind paying the full price. I thought it was pretty. So that's it. Then I saw this little vanity tray at Dollar General, $3. And I thought, well, that would be a cute finish piece. Put your piece in here and just set it. Because it will. No, it won't set up. But, you can just lean it against something. So, yeah, I thought that was a cute little finishing piece. And it was, but I think it was on 50% off. I think my Dollar General had it on sale. But that's it at Dollar General for $3. So that is all my regular haul. So now I'll talk about my what not haul. And like I said, I've got another piece of fabric coming today, but I'll show that in my next video because I'm very excited about that. But I got this vintage looking clock. I've been seeing a lot of people put cross-stitch pieces in them. And y'all, this clock actually works. It's got a battery in it. And I think it's pretty just like this. So who knows, but I can hear it ticking. But isn't that pretty? I just love the shape and the style of it. And I like this yellow. So I don't see me doing anything different to it except for maybe gluing a hot piece, cross stitch piece in it. So, and I think I got this one for like $5-6. Now, of course, you got to pay shipping and handling. But, you know, if I don't have that great of thrifting around me, so it was worth it. Then, I just thought this was so cute. I think I paid $2 for him. It's a little teddy bear, but I think he'll be so cute in my fall stuff. And I really like the vintage thrift look. And I just thought he would be so cute in my fall decor. Look at this little teddy bear on little girl. I think it's a little girl because you can tell it looks like she's got a little dress on, sitting on a basket with this pumpkin and a little hat. And like I said, I think I got him for $2-3, and that's it. And so there's no markings on the back, but I didn't care. On the bottom, I mean, there's no markings. But I thought that was really sweet. So I picked that up. Then I found these vintage, somebody was doing a lot of Christmas in July going on. And I thought this was so cool. They're coasters. And this is what it looks like. And then all the coasters are the same. Now, I'm not going to use them as coasters. But I thought, you know, I don't know. I just thought it'd be cute as a display. Or I could just do something individual with some of these. I don't know. We'll see. Or use them as ornaments. I could just glue some twine on it and use them as ornaments for my tree. So, and this is another one. I didn't pay much for it. It just depends. You know, now some things do go up pretty high. But like I said, right now everything I've gotten's been pretty, not over $10. Let's put it that way. And this is my fabric bundle that I got. Now, I will say this needs to be washed. It's kind of got a odor to it. But they're in good shape. They're not stained or anything like that. I think the fabric was in storage. Because a lot of people a lot of these are estate sale fabrics. And so they probably have been in storage for a while. But I got this whole bundle for $4. That's it. And so it came with, and like I said, these are perfect for cross-stitch finishing. But I got this piece of red. I thought that was pretty. I am going to wash these after this video. But this was what made me really bid on it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that going to be nice for, now that does have a little, no, it's just some piece of fabric. I mean, a little string. Isn't that going to be cute for patriotic finishing? That is so pretty. This is what made me bid on it. And it's a pretty good size. I mean, it's long. I mean, like this. But what I'm going to use it for, it's perfect. Then I already have some of this. She just threw it in, but I can definitely, if I get adventurous enough, make me like a scrap, a patch quilt project bag or something. But yeah, like I said, I already had some of this. And this isn't vintage. I mean, I've seen this at Walmart. But it came with the pack, so she threw it in it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll take it. And then I thought these were cool. Be good for some Halloween. These black with the stars on it. And then I just got this red. It's kind of a summery look. Now, this is the biggest piece I got. And it's got quite a bit with it. But isn't that pretty? You can use that for anything. And I think there's also a big enough piece that I could use as a project, you know, use some of it as a project bag. Thought that was pretty. So, yeah, I got quite a bit of fabric for what I paid for. I mean, it was a good deal. And then this black and white here. So yeah, I'm going to wash these and start using them. That's why, so yeah, I could easily get out of hand with that fabric on whatnot. but, but yeah, it's, and so, if you, like me, you don't, and I know with Joann's closing, it's affected a lot of people, but I don't Walmart is it for fabric for me. And it's hard to find somebody to cut the fabric. And so this is perfect for me. Hobby Lobby is, and my Michaels is, well, I say my Michaels, it's in Little Rock, but there's one in North Little Rock and one in Little Rock. They are selling, now I don't know about the Little Rock one, but the North Little Rock is selling the bolts of fabric. They had, last time I was in there, they had a whole 2 aisles, like maybe just one, but it was one of the long aisles, and it was full of bolted fabric. And now I think you go to the picture framing to get it cut. But so that Michaels is selling the fabric. Now I've heard some people say that theirs is not yet. So, but I feel like there probably will be. Eventually, all the stores will be selling it. So, but yeah, like I said, Michaels and Hobby Lobby are at least third, depending on traffic, could be 45 minutes from me. And I know that's not long, but just finding time to go. And so, so yeah, so that's it. That's everything. That is all that I have worked on, that I've bought. And so I hope you have enjoyed it. And I do plan on I feel like now that Joseph's going to be, and he is fixing to start daycare. He is, they've got him on the wait list for a daycare. And so it's just waiting for an opening. But so I feel like, maybe now that everybody's home on maternity, they're both on quote maternity leave. I think Joseph's going to be with them quite a lot more often. So I can get some more stitching done. And but I'm not, I love keeping him, not complaining whatsoever. We love keeping both of them. But yeah, so I'm hoping maybe I can get back sooner than another 4 months, 3 months. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't look. But I hope you have enjoyed it. And my next video, I'm going to try to get together a few charts that I went through my fabric and I've started reorganizing it because I had to make room. I kept them in a dresser in the boys' room, and I had to rearrange because I was running out of room for stuff. And so I've got all my fabric, for the most part, reorganized. Now I'm going to go through my charts. And so some of the charts that I don't think I will ever stitch, I think I'm going to, not that I don't like them, there's other stuff now that I want to stitch more. And so I might have a giveaway for my next video, and it might be just some charts. So, but I do have a little bit of a book talk at the end. I know I didn't mention it before, but if you're not going to watch that, I thank you so much for watching. And I will see you at my next video. And so if you are hanging out for the books, I am currently, they're all listened to. I haven't read another book since I read The Women by Christine Hanna. But I'm currently listening to, it's called The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. And I am really enjoying this. It started out I was a little concerned because sometimes if a book throws a lot of characters at you at first, you're like, I'm never going to get these characters straight, and I find myself having to rewind and listen to something, again, because, when you're driving and things like that, you do get distracted and you have to rewind it. But, there was quite a few characters thrown at you at the beginning, but halfway through the book, they all start to become their own quote person, and I can they're not all mumble jumbled together like in the beginning. You know, you can distinguish them a lot better. And so, but this is about a group of, in a retirement home, some people that live in a retirement home, and there's, somebody is trying to, they've invested in some land by the retirement home, and maybe they're going to put up another one. That part, I can't remember what the guy's going to do with the land. But 2 people have been murdered that are associated with this purchase of this land. And there's a priest that, because they're going to have to dig up an old cemetery, and there's a priest that's very much against it. And so there's some people that are against digging up that cemetery. And so it's an old historical one. And so, but yeah, there's been 2 murders. And these people, they've got like them a little murder club, and they're investigating it, and it's really good. And there's some of them that you're starting to learn a little bit about their past and what they did in their past, and coming to light about some of these residents in the what do you call it, retirement home they're living in. And then the 2 policemen, there's a lady and a man, both cops, that are investigating it. And so, yeah, it's really cute. I really am enjoying it. And I think there's a couple more in the series now. Not sure. But, and I did hear that Netflix is going to have a series about this for these books. So I really wanted to get it started, so that way I can watch it and then complain because it doesn't follow the book. Do any of y'all do that? Like you read a series and then they turn it into a TV series, and you're like, it didn't follow the book. And most of the time, you know, even though it doesn't, quote, follow the book all the way, I still enjoy the series, and I will watch it all the way through. I don't have any issues with it. But the last one that I tried, it was the book, it was about a bride that, what was it? I think I read it. I listened to it on Audible. Let me go to my library. It was by Aaron, let me see. The Perfect Couple by Elin E-L-I-N Hildebrand. And I enjoyed the book, but the series, they have Netflix turned this into I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes in the series. I don't think it's going to be a yearly series. And it has Nicole Kidman in it and some other, I can't off the top of my head think about it. But I didn't enjoy the series. I quit watching it because I didn't enjoy it. But I did end up enjoying the book. I thought the book was good. I did start, and I've got to get back to it. I did start The Next Miss Parrish. I had read The Last Miss Parrish by Liv Constantine. These are sisters that write together. And so I'm not very far in it. I stopped and read, what was it I read? I read Wonderland Creek by Lynn Austin. Oh my gosh, they're just on my last nerves. Hold on. Parrish, The Next Miss Parrish picks up where The Last Miss Parrish ends. The wife has left her he's abusive, he's left her, and now the woman that he had an affair with, that she thought she was planning, she thought she was the one breaking up his marriage and, you know, the mastermind behind all this, but really the wife was the mastermind behind it. But she has married him, and now she's pregnant, and he has gone to prison for some business dealings that he was involved in. So he's in prison. So now this book picks up, he's about to get out. The current wife has gone through most of his money, and so she's trying to figure out ways to make more money. And the wife, the ex-wife, one of their daughters is wanting to see her dad. So evidently the therapist has said, well, she needs, if it's that bad, she's trying to run away, then you need to take her to him. And so evidently they're going to be involved with, something's going to happen that they're all going to be involved with it again. Like I said, I didn't read too much of it, not because something else caught my interest, and so I started listening to it. But I will get back to it because I really liked the first book. But I also listened to Wonderland Creek. It's by Lynn Austin. This is a Christian author. And this is a young girl that this takes place back in the 30s. And President Roosevelt has started a book, I forgot what they called it, but it's in the Kentucky Appalachian Mountains. And it's a book drive, and these, you ride horseback to the people that live out in the mountains that can't necessarily get to the library. Well, this young girl just lives in a land of books. And so she decides, she's gathering up books for this library in this little Kentucky town. Well, she decides to surprise everybody and just show up. And ends up staying for a month or two and just has an adventure. And it's really a good book. And so, but then I read, I thought, well, what other books does Lynn Austin write? And so I was able to get this one through my Libby app. And it was called If I Were You. And it's by Lynn Austin. And it's a historical saga of hardship and desire in wartime. I'm just reading the descriptions. It's a bestseller, an 8-time Christie Award-winning author, Lynn Austin. Remarkable novel of sisterhood, self-discovery, and romance set against the backdrop of World War II. In 1950, in the wake of the war, Audrey Clarkson leaves her manor home in England for a fresh start in America with her young son. As a widowed war bride, Audrey needs the support of her American in-laws, whom she has never met. But she arrives to find her longtime friend Eve Dawson has been impersonating her for the past 4 years. Unraveling this deception will force Audrey and Eve's secrets, the complicated history of their friendship, to surface. In the 1940s, Eve and Audrey had been as different as two friends can be since the day they met at Wellington Hall, where Eve's mother served as the lady's maid to Audrey's mother. As young women, these differences become polarizing force until the greater threat, Nazi invasion, reunites them. And so it's just about, they become ambulance drivers, they become good friends. And so, but yeah, it was very good. So yeah, I would recommend, and you know, if you've read Lynn Austin books, then, you know, they are Christian novels, but I enjoy them. They're very good. And so, but yeah, that's kind of what I've read. I'm still reading, The Thursday Murder Club, and I'm really enjoying that. That's a good one. So, and I just hope that the series that Netflix does is going to be, as I heard, it's going to be good. So I hope if you're still with me, because this is almost 2 hours, but I will edit out some things, so it won't be quite that long. But I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you.